Okay, it's November the 10th, about 9:30 a.m. This is delrayvaweather.com, and we're going to go over a little bit of a review of what my November 4th snow prediction is for this winter, the 2015-16 winter. And we're going to show what some other meteorologists are saying. They've said it in the last couple of days. And then a couple more things I've been looking at. First of all, actually I'm shocked at how close my predictions match a number of other meteorologists that have come up with their snow predictions recently. Okay, back on November the 4th, I did a video in which what you see is the copy of the slide that was out on the video about that the El Nino years average about 20.4 inches with a median of 10.2 inches. Non-El Nino years average about 9.8 inches with a median of 4.6 inches. And that the last winter saw 18 inches of snow. It wasn't officially an El Nino year, but it was very close. And 18 inches is slightly above the climatological average of 15 inches. Okay, positive Pacific North American October average index in El Nino years really does correlate well with higher than average snow. Doesn't correlate perfectly, but pretty well. October 15th's average PNA, that's the one that they just calculated about a week ago, was plus 1.78, which puts it very positive. My research that I've been doing related to historic data at Washington Reagan National Airport says that an El Nino year with positive October PNA averages about 25.7 inches with a median of 23.9. And I want you to take a look at the difference between the average and the median here. The difference is not very much, and when you have an average and median that's very close together, it usually means that the distribution follows a normal distribution, unlike in the non-El Nino years and even just the general average El Nino years, that it actually shows a skewing without putting in the factor of the positive PNA. Okay, El Nino years with negative October PNA average about 12 inches a year with a median of 10 inches. From those calculations, I estimated that there's a 71% chance of us getting more snow than we did last year, more than 18 inches. I also indicated that I thought this El Nino resembled the 2009-10 El Nino, the Snowmageddon winter, rather than the 1997-98 El Nino that a lot of other meteorologists have been comparing to. And in 1997-98, we got basically no snow. We got less than 1/4 of an inch the entire winter. There's also, based upon my analysis, an increasing probability of snow before Christmas this winter, and that the harshest part of the winter will be in February. Okay, and now I'm going to, actually I got a lot of flack from a few people about saying that I compared this to the 2009-2010 El Nino rather than the 1997-98 El Nino. I'm not actually alone in this comparison. There are a number of well-known meteorologists that are making the comparison to the 2009-10 El Nino, and I'm going to show you why I really don't think it compares to the 1997-98 El Nino. Okay, another person on Twitter that does a lot of weather forecasting in the DC area is a site called dcstorms.com. You can actually, his handle is at DC Storms, and it's worth following him actually, because I think he does a pretty nice job. This is their prediction of what we can expect this winter. And if you notice, right in this area is Alexandria, D.C., and we're clearly in the band that is labeled 20 to 35 inches. And so this other website is indicating that they think it's going to be substantially above what we got last year, 18 inches. And that's basically what I said, is that it's going to be above 18 inches. And I did, pointed out that actually the average for this type of El Nino is 25 inches. So his prediction fits very well with what I'm predicting. Okay, another good site, again, this person's on Twitter, is Potomac WX. It's at Potomac WX, or it's Potomac Weather is the full name. And he sent out a very interesting chart a day or so ago that also matches very closely to what I've been saying for the Arlington-Alexandria area. And he apparently is doing similar things to what I'm doing, looking at local points around the region and doing an assessment. Up here in the upper left-hand corner is his prediction for Washington, D.C. And he has one for Baltimore, Roanoke, Charleston, Richmond, and Hagerstown. So he has 4 predictions here for different sections of our region, which I actually think is a beautiful way of doing it. Okay, for Washington, D.C., if you look at his legends up here, he has a 40% in dark green, that's 17 to 25 inches. He has 30% in light green, which is 9 to 17 inches. He has this salmon color, which is 25 to 33 inches. So if you add up these upper boundaries, he's talking about a 60% chance of getting between 17 and 33 inches for the season. Again, if it's very close to what I've been saying, and very close to what DC Storms is predicting for the DC area. Okay, last night, actually the only TV weather meteorologist that has the guts to make the prediction so early is the meteorologist at Storm Team 4. He came out with this last evening, I believe, a Doug Cameter, I believe his name is. And nobody else, none of the other TV meteorologists have made any weather predictions yet. They may towards the end of the month. But he is predicting, as you see, for Washington, D.C., and Alexandria is here. He's saying 20 to 25 inches. Again, he's predicting above what we got last year and substantially above the climatological average of 15 inches a season. Also, absolutely spot on with both my predictions, DC Storms predictions, and Potomac Weather's prediction. And that really makes me feel very confident because we all came up with this independently. We do look at similar data sets, but really a lot of us are looking at totally different indicators, and we're drawing the same conclusion, which always makes me more confident in that conclusion. Okay, now I want to show you why I don't believe this year's El Nino is similar to the 1997-98 El Nino. And that's basically, these are charts that are available at Rutgers University's snow and ice site. And on the left we have what they showed the snow cover was for the northern hemisphere at the end of October, the end of last month. And this shows in a color coding the departure from the normal expected amounts of snow cover. If you take a look at this, it's showing that it's above average in the Finland, Sweden area, the northeastern part of Russia. It's around the St. Petersburg area and that general eastern part of Russia. Siberia is over in this area, and Siberia is showing a bit above normal, but a very strong signature of substantially above normal at the end of October in this area. The other area I want you to take a look at is this area in northeastern Canada, also showing that this area of Canada is substantially above what is expected at the end of October. Now let's compare it to the October 1997 snow cover. And if you look, this area here is substantially below the expected snow amount. That again is in the northeastern area of Canada. And also you will see that the area of Sweden and northeastern Russia is below average snow cover, as is Siberia. This whole area is much lower compared to this year. The type of El Nino we have this year it's a hybrid at this point. It's moving towards a Moduki, but it is definitely moving west away from the South American Pacific coast. In October 1997, the El Nino, which was also very strong, it was equally strong to this year's, was actually still a traditional El Nino in October. It was still up against the South American Pacific coast. So it was an absolute difference between the two El Ninos between these 2 years. Okay, we have a variation in what we see also in the PNA, NAO, and AO. And my personal feeling is that for the mid-Atlantic states, the positive October PNA is when that occurs, we get more snow. If it's negative in October, we get less snow. And it was negative in 1997, October 1997, and the seasonal total was less than a quarter of an inch for the entire 3-month period. It was very snow-free. Okay, now let's look at some of the past years' snow covers and look at the similarities of other years. Again, over here in the extreme left side of the screen is this year. We see above average in northeastern Canada, above average in northeastern Russia. Actually, I guess it's northwestern Russia over there, but it's generally in the St. Petersburg area of Russia. Also, we show in Siberia again above average. Okay, these are the ones that seem to have the best matches when I looked at all of the October snow covers going back to the 70s. And if you look, probably the best match in the snow cover is the October 2002. We see this in the same area, above average in Russia. We see above average in northeastern Canada, but it's not quite as high as this year. But this is actually quite similar, and you see above average generally in the Siberian plains, same way for this year. So while in my November 4th prediction, I did say I thought it was closer to the 2009 El Nino. It's quite possible it's closer to the 2002 El Nino. It really doesn't matter as far as snow amounts, because we had 40 inches of snow in 2002-2003 winter season, compared to 2009 with Snowmageddon. We had 56 inches of snow. So both of these El Nino years were high snow events. And if we do compare and indicate that October 2002 might be more similar to this year, we're still going to get a lot of snow. Okay. The other ones that had some similarities, mainly because of the northeastern above average snow in Canada. One was October 1974, and you can see that we have above average in northeastern Canada, but in the area of Russia and in a lot of the Siberian plain, we have below average snow. The season total back in 74 was 16.7. And then the final one, oh, and by the way, 74 was not an El Nino year. It was it may have been a La Nina. I didn't really check that, but it wasn't an El Nino. October 1972, on the other hand, was a strong El Nino year. You can't really tell where the El Nino was in October because the satellite data only goes back to 1979. So it's the satellites that basically show the positioning of the warm water in the equatorial Pacific. So we don't really have data whether it was a hybrid or traditional or Moduki. So we're missing that data. This season also only got 16.8. 16.8 is above climatological average, but not nearly the big snows that we see back in these 2 years. However, it did have a negative PNA, which again, like I've been saying, I feel that that's an important factor. But of course, in this year we also have a negative PNA with a 40-inch one, the one that seems to match a bit better than the other years. However, there is the other indices that seems to be very consistent is the Arctic Oscillation Index. We're currently negative in Arctic Oscillation. 2009 we were negative. 2002 we were negative. We were negative in 1974, but it was not an El Nino year in that year. And we're positive in October 72. When you have a positive Arctic oscillation, it actually blocks cold air from being pushed down into the continental United States. So the reason that this particular pattern did not produce a lot of snow for the mid-Atlantic may actually be the result of the AO in October being positive. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there. That currently is what everyone is thinking. We're definitely going to get above last year's snowfall. There is a good possibility it'll be substantially above last year's snowfall. I suspect most of the snow is going to fall in February. But we can, I think, still expect some snow before Christmas. Okay, if you have any questions, give me a tweet at PatPend, that's PATPEND, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you.